Hey everybody, it's GoblinX, and welcome back to the Pioneer Masters Early Access event. Thanks again to Wizards of the Coast for this early access account, and without further ado, let's get into our Pack 1 Pick 1. We got a pretty sweet rare here with the Chasm Skulker. Whenever you draw a card, you get a counter on this, and when it dies, you get a squid for each counter on it. So really, really nice as long as it gets a counter or two before it perishes. So pretty simple pack here, just a strong monocolored rare, so we can stick to that. I do like Blood Tithe Harvester out of Rakdos here, and some of these commons are decent, like Essence Scatter. Hero of Iroas has been great in our historic deck last time, but we'll just go for the pretty sweet rare here. Alright, pick 2 now. We've got the Essence Scatter, great little counter spell in the set, sticks to blue with our Chasm Skulker, so we don't have to pick a secondary color yet. Alternatively, Dreadbore is completely off color, but it's very efficient removal. Priest of the Bloodrite is very nice. 5 mana for a 5/5 flyer and a 2/2 on the ground, but you do lose 2 life every turn from this 2/2, so you either need to be a pretty aggressive deck or a deck with good ways to sacrifice the priest ideally. I don't think we're going to be either if we end up in blue. There is Urban Evolution. 5 mana draw 3 is a little expensive, but it does let you play another land with this if you want to try to ramp really high up. I think I'd rather just stick to pure mono blue for now with Essence Scatter. Pick 3 Kythian? The end of combat. If Kythian, Hero of Akros, and at least 2 other creatures attacked, you get to flip this transformed into a decent little planeswalker. At least a 4/4 attacker each turn. You can give Kythian indestructible early. Yeah? I mean, this pack must have just been super strong. That's still in here. Seed Guardian's still in here. And Fell Stinger. I think those are all really good cards. Fell Stinger plays really well with the Chasm Skulker, so that's interesting. But, I mean, pick 3 Gideon is a pretty good sign for white. Pick 4 now. Artisan of Forms is pretty fun. It's a 2 mana 1/1, but every time you target it with a combat trick or something, you just make it a copy of something else on board. But it gets to keep that ability, so you can keep changing what it's cloning throughout the game. That's pretty fun. You can also go for blue-red spells with the Storm Chaser Mage, not Stormcaster Mage. Gate Colossus for the Gate stack. Pretty sweet stuff all around. Artisan's probably more cute than anything. There's not a lot of combat tricks out of blue or auras in blue in this set. But in theory, if we go blue-white, white has both combat tricks and auras, so that is something we could do. I feel like Mage is probably more consistently good, but we do have one card already pushing us towards that weird kind of blue-white color pair. Might try out the Artisan. That could definitely be fun. Okay, this is probably good. No, it's not. Not in best of 1 draft. If we're playing against red or green creatures, that's really good, but otherwise it's hard to cast 2 mana 2/2 with literally no ability. That feels weak enough in the wrong matchup to just take the 2 mana 2/1 flyer here. Yep, there's not a whole lot else in the pack. Alright, pick 6. Got a Trailblazer to do a bunch of heroic triggers, not historic triggers. Phalanx Tactics to trigger heroic. It's good with the Artisan, obviously. And if we go for just a really aggressively curved blue-white build. There's also this Illusory Angel. You have to double spell with it, but if you do, 3 mana for a 4/4 flyer is great. But you can't do that till turn 4 at the earliest. You go 1 drop plus Angel. Feels pretty inconsistent. I'm going to go for Phalanx Tactics. Blue-white heroic here. This could be an interesting deck. It's an Oath of Jace. Okay, by itself, draw 3, discard 2 is not the greatest for 3 mana, but that is a lot of Chasm Skulker triggers, so that's a little exciting. A little interesting. kind of only good if we get the two cards together, and that's not going to happen super often, though. I'd rather grab a Heliod's Pilgrim. If we're going to be like blue-white heroic, we can grab some auras to put into the deck to tutor off of the Heliod's Pilgrim. We can use those to get heroic triggers or just to buff up flyers. That can help a lot as well. Auras should play pretty nice in this deck. Okay, speaking of flyers and auras, the Nimbus Naiad is both thanks to the Bestow ability. The awkward part about this is we can't search for it off of Heliod's Pilgrim, but I think it's a good card. Imposing Sovereign's also good if you're really aggressive. Any creatures your opponents play hit the board tapped, so they don't get to block the turn they play them. So that could be an option too, but I think Nimbus Naiad looks good for blue-white. Alright, pick number 9, Ghostblade Eidolon. Fine for heroic. Mizium Skin could be 2. Just a little shore up hexproof trick. Save your creature. And make it a copy of something else if it's the right one. It's pretty cute. I think I'd take the Eidolon first, though. Alright, Artful Maneuver is 2 heroic triggers. The first time you use it as a combat trick, the second time you use it as just getting extra damage. Cloudfin Raptor or Consider seem okay. And we're decent at evolving this Raptor to the 2 power flyer status. Gives us another 1 mana creature to flood our board pretty early and get a bunch of creatures attacking alongside Kithian. Get that flip trigger, get the big Gideon Battleforge going in. Alright, another heroic card with Lagona Band Trailblazer. Although this is a pretty late Storm Chaser Mage. It's a good sign. If blue-red is like completely wide open, we could go that direction instead. I think the only white card we have that's really good is Kithian. So we could still go Izzet if it's completely wide open, and it looks like it is. Still more likely in blue-white, but we'll see. Okay. Pack 2, pick 1. Keening Apparition in white. Consider and Legion Loyalist for blue-red. I don't think Legion Loyalist is going to be good. Our creature count's not going to be that high. And these white cards aren't going to be that good either, though. I guess I could take this Illusory Angel, because if I do go blue-red, I'm going to want to take all the cheap little Consider-style 1-mana spells. And that'll make it easier to actually cast the Illusory Angel. That's also probably a little more exciting, even if we go blue-white, than just the filler 2-mana 2/2 is. Pack 2, pick 2. 2-mana 2/1 flyer we can put in either deck. Or Hero, Viroas, or Phalanx Leader for blue-white heroic. Let's go for the Zephyrwinder, keep it open here. Pick 3. Alright, well now we have a great white removal spell and a mediocre red one. Decent filler blue cards, but yeah, we'll head back to our blue-white Gideon deck. Okay. Anchor to the Aether is a really nice tempo play, but 3-mana 3/1 flyer Detain Something is also a sick play. Sajiri Shelter is great with heroic cards. Just a really great pack in general. We could get the Sky Knight back. We might be the only blue-white drafter. Let's slow our opponent down and get obnoxious. Let's grab Anchor to the Aether. Put their creature back on top of their deck. They have to redraw it and everything. Treasure Cruise now, or Evolving Wilds. Grab a Treasure Cruise. Pick 6, Zorius Guildgate. We're an okay Lotus Eye Mystics deck. We have 3 enchantments. 4 enchantments. But I'm probably not playing the Oath of Jace, though. But we've got a Naiad and an Eidolon. That can end up in the grave easily. Maybe a Stasis Snare ends up in grave. Guildgate's probably better. Another Cloudfin Raptor, I guess. This is making the Kithian curve outs more likely. Flip a Gideon early. Swift Reckoning removal. Only destroys tapped creatures. But that's still going to be pretty good for a deck with a lot of flyers. Like, we're just going to attack past our opponent. They're going to attack past us. Drop a Swift Reckoning afterwards. Pick 9. Get a 2-drop that gives us main deckable enchantment removal or another Nimbus Naiad. Actually, don't mind another Nimbus Naiad. This gives us more top end, more 5-mana bestow cards to play. Bestow that onto an Eidolon would be the sickest thing we can do, but even just onto an Artisan seems good. Chasm Skulker seems great. Trailblazer seems great. Kithian seems great. Some good cards to bestow Naiads onto. Nothing for us here. Pick 11, we get a Mizium skin, which could definitely be playable with some heroic cards in the deck to protect something from removal and trigger heroic at the same time. Now we get a Sungrace Pegasus as well. Flying Lifelinker fits perfectly fine into the deck. Blue-red still looks pretty open, but red itself did not see like any good removal wheeling around or anything. All right. Pack 3, pick 1. No, the blue-red mythic. All right. Kind of sad, but we still get a really sweet card for our blue-white heroic deck. Celestial Archon fits pretty perfectly. It's just a gigantic flying finisher, but also if we have the mana to bestow it, it'll trigger heroic and give us 2 massive threats. Yep, do not mind that at all. We didn't wheel the Sky Knight, so somebody else is in blue-white, but whatever, we have an entire deck already. Just need to take some cards to cut our weakest filler, because we've already got 23 non-lands. We could call it a deck right here and get into the gameplay, but I would like to spend a pack improving the deck if I can. And we absolutely can here. Oh yeah, second copy of Stasis Snare is definitely an improvement. Add to the amount of interaction that we have available. Days Undoing, unfortunately not really good in draft. Each player drawing 7. And then your opponent is the first player who gets all their untapped mana to spend on all those cards they just drew. It just puts you at a downside. Wow, alright. Triple Stasis Snare. That's definitely better than Swift Reckoning. Likely better than Naiad or Mystics. Yeah, it's just definitely the best. Probably can just cut the Swift Reckoning with triple Snare for hard removal plus bounce and a counterspell as removal. Might cut the Treasure Crew. We're not the best at filling our graveyard for Delve. We're not good at hitting Spell Mastery either, but even as a sorcery, Swift Reckoning can play okay. I'm gonna have to cut something. I think these are the first cards we've set to the side here. I like Hero of Iroas for this deck. Just another heroic card that also makes Archon and Naiads cheaper to bestow. Bestowing a Naiad or an Eidolon onto the hero seems sweet. Another Goatgate would be fine. It didn't look like we ended up being a really good deck for Illusory Angels. We do have plenty of 1 and 2 mana creatures, so we can cast one of these on like turn 5 or turn 4 sometimes, but we're not so consistent that I want a second copy. We're not like so high on cheap creatures that we can play those angels really easily. We just can play them sometimes. Okay, I feel like Trailblazer's probably a cut. Oh, we're currently on cutting Pilgrim as well. We didn't actually get an aura to work with it. One of the awkward things about aura in this format that I keep talking about, or Pilgrim in this format, is that bestow cards aren't technically auras. So you can end up in a deck like this where you technically have 0 auras. So the odds Pilgrim doesn't actually do it. I'm already cutting 1 Trailblazer though, so when I'm not playing anything else in this pack, I will take that as an option. If we want to go massively low curve with Kithian, we can, but I don't think that'll be something I'm interested in. Okay, to put one card back in. We're on the treasure cruise for now still. I just don't think we're delving super well. Okay, I'll play another Cloudfin over that. It could be a 16 land deck here. Could definitely see the argument for that. Play a hero over land 16. Or over land 17. I don't think I really want a fourth Cloudfin Raptor. It would be funny. But yeah, let's just get the hero. This looks like a really good hero deck with all these bestow cards, as I said. This just gives all of our bestow cards some really consistent targets. Slapping them onto heroes. Making them cheaper to bestow at the same time. Sovereign might be better than Artisan of Forms. I could see that being a 1-for-1 trade out, but Artisan's funnier, so I'm going to keep Artisan in here anyway. And looks like we get to just call it a deck right here. Throw a bunch of nonsense into the sideboard and just hop directly into the gameplay with a pretty sweet blue-white heroic build, bestowing things onto hero Viroises to make them super juicy, trying to make artisans clones of the best creatures on the board, having a really aggressive just flying curve in general with plenty of interaction, triple snare, a counterspell, and a bounce spell. Looks like a really nice deck here, but we'll see how it plays out for us as we head into the gameplay. All right. I'm probably supposed to mulligan, but I love Kithian into Hero Virois into Stasis Snare on any land. We don't hit a blue source, we are in trouble with 2 blue spells in the hand. But what a first couple turns here. With Kithian into the hero. Steward of Solidarity has arrived. And we've drawn no lands off of the draw. It's pretty rough. We just send the board into the Steward. Take whatever trade we get, because if they exert it and make a 1-1, Gideon can't attack in any way. The 2-1 can't attack into the 1-1 token. And they've 2-for-1'd us pretty hard. Well, that's magic. Opponent hits us with the double blue 2-2 with no abilities. Man. Alright. Kept a risky hand, hope for land, did not hit it, and this game is likely over pretty quick here. Gross. Third white source there. Taking like 4 a turn. Vision, look for an instant or sorcery, put into their hand. Find, consider, draw a card. Well, that card is super gross. Let's see if they have the Mizium thing to go with it. Seems like they do. Rapid hybridization. Okay, that is not as bad for us, but we just can't find the island. Yeah, I mean, I risk it for the biscuit. That's on me. 0-1 heading into game 2. Alright, let's see what happens when I have mana in this matchup. We are right back at it again here. This hand is honestly not that much better. It's really slow, starting at 3 and 5 mana. So it's got its own issues. Alright, there we go. This hand has immediately become pretty dang solid. Now we have a 2 mana 2/1 flyer into the 3 mana double striker. Then we've got the anchor, the Archon on turn 5. Oof. Alright. I could just keep drawing into straight gas here. Show me the Essence Scatter. No Essence Scatter. This looks legit. Sky Knight to detain somebody. Ooh, maybe they were in the draft pod. They were the other blue-white drafter. Even if we win this game, we don't get to pretend we're the superior blue-white drafter. It's just a tie at that point. And we're 1-1. But hey. Oh, I should have put that on bottom. I forgot I didn't play a land for turn yet. Yeah, I should have tried to hit land 5 here, but I like going Cloudfin plus Eidolon. Completely forgot this was turn 4 and not turn 3. Cool. There's the Raptor. You know what? I think Skulker just trading into Sky Knight is just a good deal. 2/1/1 unblockable because of the island walk. I feel like I'm pretty okay with doing this because if they have like blue and white removal here, it is going to likely exile or pacify the Chasm Skulker rather than put it into our graveyard, so we won't get anything off of it if it doesn't go to our graveyard. Okay, Hero actually is relevant here. Two Bestow cards in our hand. Oh, plus the Evolve. I forgot the Evolve. I should have played that pre-combat. There's the Archangel again. I've already used my removal. Gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, so that includes itself. Can't threaten lethal and force the block here. Yeah, because then they can just block elsewhere, so I have to like just do this, I think. It's 1 damage from threatening lethal. So close. If I played this pre-combat, we would have forced them to block Hero that turn. But obviously if I attack with these two, they gain 3, take 2, so they're actually just higher in life total. No, we might actually lose because I didn't evolve the Cloudfin Raptor. I just forgot. They go to 4 life, 1 blocker up? Okay, never mind. They're dead on board. With 1 mana up. Okay. Yeah, they actually did not. They did not have a way to survive in their hand, it looks like, because the island walkers are just unblockable. If they didn't attack and gain the life there, then I just get the island walker in. Alright, I got real nervous. I punted the game away, but 1-1 in the mirror match. Let's see how we do in some other matchups. Alright. Here we are for game number 3. We're on the draw here to help make sure we hit all the land drops we need. But we are keeping a 2-lander. It's got both of our colors, though. And the most expensive card in the hand is 3 mana, so a single land and we can cast literally everything in the hand. We've currently not drawn a single land yet in our first couple draws. Probably need to slam down a hero just to slow down the cutthroat. Take no damage on board for now. Plus, if I hit a land, I can play Cloudfin Raptor and a 2-drop in the same turn. Be mana efficient. Don't really want to play the 1-drop Raptor when I have 2 mana up. Butler, Mills, 2 mountains, and the Bushwhacker that buffs the whole board. Beautiful draw. Beautiful draw. Now we get to Raptor plus Artisan to trigger the Raptor. Playing Artisan instead of Hero, because then I can trigger the Raptor again when I cast the Hero. Dreadbore the Hero so they can start getting some attacks in on the ground. We take 2, go to 18. Well, we're just going to play another one. Is there a 1 black mana -1/-1 in the set? No. Here's another hero. Gem in the sky. 1 mana. If they don't kill Hero Vyros, I'm 1 mana away from bestowing onto the Artisan. Tormented Hero. Mizium Skin. Okay. Mizium Skin also works here for the Artisan, and it's only 1 mana, so I can anchor and hold up the skin. That sounds kind of weird when you say it that way. There's nothing I want to anchor here. Their board is just inconsequential. I guess I can just play the Eidolon then. But it's such a good bestow on a flyer later. Or a hero. It's just such a good bestow anywhere. Yeah, I mean, Stasis Snare is an instant. I'm holding up Stasis Snare plus Mizium Skin. We're fine. We can play it slow here. Don't have to be impatient. Okay. This only exiles creatures. It can't exile the Night Howler. So I can't 2-for-1 them. Maybe I can. There's probably some really weird Artisan line here. If I Mizium Skin a hero, it blocks as a 3/4 against a 4/3, and that doesn't work. If I Mizium Skin Artisan and make it a copy, everything else on the board is too small. Even if I choose like Swift Spear, it'll be a 1/3 Swift Spear with 1 prowess trigger. That's still not big enough. Yeah, no, I can't do anything here. Scary enough. We just have to snare that and then anchor the Night Howler, but then the redraw is pretty good for them. I guess I anchor the hero and snare the Night Howler. Gotta take a hit for now. That's castable right now. That's kind of big. There's 17. Hit for 5, 6, 7. Put them to 10. They blow that up. I take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 maybe. I don't take lethal, and then if I hit the double strike thing, I kill them. I should go for 2-turn lethal. I can play it safe or I can play it bold. I'm gonna play it bold here. Just try to swing at them 2 turns in a row. Okay, Witcher's Mark is fine. Still just trump that. If they find the removal for the Artisan, that costs 2 mana, then we're dead. Actually, no, we go to 1. If they blow up Artisan, we're still alive, and then we kill them on the crackback. Okay, definitely still alive. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. We'll see. Yeah, sure, let's see. We're living. Durmog Angler, sure, it's on the ground. Land is lethal. On-land is not. Yeah, I could do 8 damage here. Two hero swings for lethal. Come on. We live this. There's no way there's some hexproof trick here. Out of Rakdos of all colors. Okay. Oh, I should have done that the other way around so I didn't take a damage from the Wicked roll. Lets them keep the bigger creature on board, but still slightly less likely to die without that extra 1 point of damage. Hit for 6. Oh my god, I almost punted that into the trash can. Should have been at 2 instead of 1 that last turn. Ooh, my god. Alright. Sketchy game, but we are 2-1 heading into game 4. Alright, here we are for game 4. Have I learned my lesson? No. I'm going to keep a mono white hand and we'll see if we die the same way we lost our first game. Was keep the mono white hand and do not draw a blue source. They do not interact. Double hero to make the Ghostblade Eidolon only 4 mana to bestow is super gross. And that's what's got me excited to keep this hand. Also, if I top deck an island, then Cloudfin Raptor's also pretty good. Okay, it's not an island, but it is solid. You know, I'm going to play it a little slow here to get the 2-3 Cloudfin Raptor. Because if I just go Plains Hero this turn, then I don't get to cast Cloudfin Raptor until after I've played both of my heroes, which is pretty bad. What else is pretty bad is our opponent ramping up here with Kyora's Follower. Play some really big green creatures. Oh, they're full Sultai here. With perfect mana for the Skyrider Elf to get converged as a 3/3 flyer. Okay. Okay, only one of these two is going to trigger Cloudfin Raptor either way. So it doesn't really matter the order I do it. And we Eidolon next turn. And that is all our cards on the table. I would be insanely happy if they attack with Elf and tap the Kyora's Follower, but that feels unlikely. They could attack with Elf and then just have the Follower to untap it on blocks. No attacks, though. We do not get to send the flyers in until we find some way to deal with that Elf. It's a Courier's Briefcase for a 1/1, and the treasure thing. It's a Mizium skin. It's pretty spicy. I mean, I've gotta bestow this onto a hero for the extra counter for sure. Untap the swamp. Cruelty. Nah. Hero's got some Mizium skin on him. World's scariest double striker has hit the building. Boom for 10. Nope. Oh. Well, that is frustrating. Now we get to stare at each other for another 5 minutes till somebody draws a finisher. My finisher is removal. Being like a potential 5-color deck over there with a Courier's Briefcase, they are much more likely to have powerful late-game top decks than us. These bounce spells are gross against our deck. Get all the counters off the Raptor, unattach the double strike. Blood. The 4/2 on the ground, sure. It's pretty chill. Planeswalker bonus sheet strikes again. Jace is actually pretty bad. One of the worst bonus sheet planeswalkers, I think. It's really annoying, and it will still win the game by just accruing value over time, like all planeswalkers. But the ultimate is really just not good. So it's just going to be like just -2ing over and over. Alright, Grook kills us way faster. Immediately draws 2 Skyrider Elves for 3/3 flyers.
Don't force me to stretch your mind even further.
I'm gonna cut you down.
We immediate draw 5, including a 3rd Planeswalker. Probably going to enjoy this set more once the Planeswalker sheet rotates out. I feel like so many of my losses already have just been Planeswalkers. This is the filthiest one, though. This is pretty legit. That's probably the best draw in our deck. We have a tiny shot now. Oh my god, I forgot about Jace's ability. Okay, I guess it doesn't matter. No, it did matter. They could have triple blocked and killed the Ghostblade Idol on there because it did not have 5 power. So 2 3/3s and a 2/2. I can only first strike away a 3/3, and then I take 5 damage in the regular combat damage step. So they could have killed the Ghostblade Eidolon, which is why I was frustrated by the Jace ability. They've got more than an easy enough board state to just plus Jace again and wait on the ultimate. Whenever you cast a creature, search your library for a creature and put it on the battlefield. Oh my god. That's a Guruk ultimate for you. Another briefcase. Do they even have red and white? Or is that just to fix into planeswalkers? This could just be to fix into planeswalkers. Is this creatures only? Yeah. They're going to replay a 4/5 reach. Yeah, no, that's not going to be relevant. We may be definitely losing, but that Celestial Archon top deck has kept us in this game so much longer than we would have been otherwise.
I'll try my luck.
Oh, just double ult? Sure.
Don't pursue that thought any further.
I feel like they have more than enough tools to know that neither Planeswalker is going to die next turn, so this is genuinely probably better for us than if they just plussed them both and waited another turn to ult, so they could keep them around with the ults. I guess Guruk ult is nasty enough. Yeah, well, there's the Pelucranos in hand still, too. Alright. Magical Christmas Land has been accomplished. They're out of creatures in their deck? That's so funny. Guruk already pulled every creature out of their deck, so Guruk's ult actually does literally nothing now. They got to trigger Guruk's ult one time. Well, I guess Guruk doesn't do anything at that point, even if they didn't ult him then. Because they could just keep revealing the top 5 and getting no creatures. Okay, there's no universe in which I win now, and they got to do their fun stuff. So let's move on to game number 5. That will be the final game of Magic, as I am just going to do 5 games in all these early access drafts, so I do have time to get one last draft in before the set releases on Tuesday. I believe this is the 4th. So this video is going up on Sunday. We'll see. I could be off. My brain is already kaput. It's been a lot of Magic. It's always a lot of Magic on these early access days. This could be the best or worst idea ever, but I'm going to keep this. We have both of our colors. We need to draw any creature, But if we do, we evolve both of the Cloudfin Raptors. If I don't draw a creature, they're going to sit here being 0/1s. And we are now facing the other half of the Lords of Limited, Mr. Metronome. Once again, Lords of Limited, fantastic podcast about draft and sealed if you're looking to up your game. Anchor to the Aether should be solid in this matchup against the hero here. Once it gets a couple counters, just toss it back on top of his deck. First draw was another land, which is pretty awkward. They draw a card when Audacity goes to the grave, even if it's from an Anchor to the Aether, so very strong start. 2 draw steps, 2 lands. The flood has already arrived. Magic the Gathering.exe. The third Cloudfin Raptor too, that's comical. Oh my god. You can't make it up. I don't think you could manufacture worse draws than this. That's exclusively lands still. Technically, I had the option of drawing a third Cloudfin Raptor. Man, that's such a bummer, too. I would have liked to have a good game against Mr. Metronome. But this is just not a game at all for us. Audacity means it doesn't matter. I Chasm Skulker and die to Audacity Trample. That's just the most awkward we could have possibly drawn. Alright, 2 and 3 it is. Rough run for the deck, but we had some risky hands that we kept. Obviously the last one, I needed to draw like any creature. Drawing literal 0 spells the whole game is gonna be pretty deadly. And then, our first loss, we kept a double white hand, needed some mana, specifically really wanted an island and just didn't hit it. So some risky keeps here, definitely hindering the deck. Maybe with some more aggressive mulligans, this could get a better record. I think the synergy was pretty sweet in this deck when it got going. You know, cheap Archons and Eidolons with the heroes was awesome. The Naiad on the heroes also awesome. But also just curving out with flyers was fine. I think this deck probably is a little bit better than it played, but that was certainly ourselves shooting ourselves in the foot for 2 of those losses. We could have had a better chance there, but also, like, Mr. Metronome had a really nasty start. Having the heroic card with double Audacity in the opener is just an egregious amount of damage. Even if we had a really good hand that had, like, the turn 3 Stasis Snare or something, like, it still puts us down to, like, 8 before we can do anything, so yeah. It is what it is. That's where the cookie crumbles. Think this deck was pretty fun, pretty sweet. Sad to see it get a weaker record, but it is what it is. We are 2 and 3 for today's draft, but that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for supporting the channel, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.